Hello learners, in this lecture we are going to learn about the curtain walls in Revit. So you can find the curtain wall in the architectural tab and where we have the wall tool. Okay, so once you select the wall, from the types you can see there is a different family. Okay, so these are nothing but basic wall family and we have multiple types here. Similarly, we have couple of other families, that is wall families. The first one is the curtain wall and the next is a stacked wall. So we will be dealing with the curtain wall system in this lecture, and following the subsequent lecture we will have a close look at what actually stacked wall means. Okay, so let's start with the curtain wall. So here we have the curtain wall family, and for now, as a default, there are three different types of curtain walls that are already available in my Revit project. So let's go with any one. So let's go ahead using the curtain wall empty type. Okay, so let's like similar to wall, we have the drawing tools available at our instance. So we can use any of the tool and we can have the curtain walls created like as like we want. Okay, so here under the properties we have the same, we have the base constraint. As we have seen for the wall, we have the base offset, top constraint, top offset. Okay, and much more stuff which was similar to the wall. Okay, so to place a curtain wall, all you need to do is like using the drawing tools, you just need to specify first point, I specify second point and hit escape. So in this way my curtain wall is created. So let's take a section here, right click, go to view. So this is nothing but the curtain wall that we have created, and as the type suggests, curtain wall empty. So there are no grids, no mullions, nothing in this curtain wall. You can look at that in 3D as well. Okay, so this is my curtain wall. Okay, so this is generally a basic empty curtain wall. So under the edit type you can see there are few more parameters, like the type parameters you can play with. So firstly you have the function, like whether the wall is functioning as an exterior, interior. Okay, so likewise you can keep it. The second is auto embedded. For now it's unchecked. Okay, so we'll have a look at it shortly. So we have a few more steps here, like whether we have a vertical grid layout or horizontal grid layout, whether we have mullions for those layouts that we are creating likewise. Okay, so we'll have a look at it shortly. So let's keep okay. Now, for now, the curtain wall looks empty as there are no grid lines or no mullions. Okay, so in order to have grid lines created or mullions added to the curtain wall, we need to create grid lines. Okay, so go to any section or any elevation view if you want. Okay, so this is our curtain wall. So when you go to the architecture tab, you can see we have a curtain grid tool available under the build panel. Okay, so as the note reads, creates a grid lines in a curtain wall or a curtain system. Okay, so just need to select the curtain grid, and we have once the segments that can be placed, like the grid segment that can be placed. Okay, so for now let's keep it all segment for now. And whenever you need to place a segment or a grid, okay, rather than we'll call it a grid, you just need to hover to the boundary of the external, means boundary of the curtain wall. Okay, so whenever I move my cursor to any horizontal edge of the wall, I am able to place a vertical curtain grid. As you can see here, it's been previewed. Okay, so for now if you want to place any grid, just left click. Okay, my grid is formed, just left click. Okay, you can control these grids using the dimensions. Okay, this is at 1000 mm, this is at, okay, so these are not evenly placed, so we can even control the grid lines, okay, using the dimensions. So now these grid lines are equal spaced. Similarly, we can have horizontal grids placed. So what we need to do, go to architecture tab, under the build panel, go to curtain system, and I want grids horizontally, so I have to hover my mouse along the vertical edge of the curtain wall. Okay, so you can see the preview is available. So as we are using all segments, please notice the curtain, like the curtain grid that is forming, it's going throughout the length of the wall. Okay, so whenever I click OK, it's going throughout the wall. But once I click or select the single segment, please notice the change. Okay, we are able to now place the grid only at a single segment, as the name suggests, one segment. So whenever you need a grid only at a selected panel or a selected segment only, so you all you need to go to use the one segment placement. Okay, so if you need a curtain grid in this fashion, you can have it like in an odd manner. So you can use the one segment option. Okay, so in this way, my vertical grids are formed, my horizontal grids are formed. And one more thing, as the grids are formed, you can able means you are able to select the panels single individually. Okay, single panel individually. Like you can say here, if you want to select this panel, all you need to just hover your mouse over that panel and press tab, and now you are able to select any panel as per your preference. Okay, so hit tab on your keyboard to select the panel that you wish to select. Okay, and each panel also has a properties. Okay, like we can assign different wall types to each panel. Okay, for now it's system panel, glazed and solid. Okay, so let's check that in 3D view. Okay, so all my panels are currently system panel glazed. Okay, as you can see, if you want to check, like just select the panel using the tab key. Okay, so these are all system panel. So if I want to change the panel to any of the wall type that are available, so we can do that as well. Okay, all you need to just select the panel, go to any wall type you want, and from the drop down list you can select any wall panel or any wall type, rather any wall type, and that would be slotted into the curtain wall. Okay, so instead of panel we are having a basic wall which is exterior 215 thickness. Okay, similarly we can do that for the remaining of the panels. This is the multifunctional use of a curtain wall. Okay, so you can assign various kinds of wall types to the panels that are forming as a result of creation of grids. Okay, so there is glass above the solid wall, that is that we have changed now. Okay, so there is glass above and there is a solid brick wall below. So in this way, you can change the uh, wall types or the panel types as per your need. Okay, so if you want to delete any of the curtain grids, okay, so if you don't want these curtain grids, you can delete them. How to delete them? Just go like select the grid lines again, and just need to select the grid lines, and here we have add and remove segments. So when you click on the uh, placed grid, it's asking us whether you need to delete the segment or not, because here two segments were formed because of the grid line. So now deleting the grid line will result in a formation of single segment. So okay, like now you can see we have a single panel throughout. Okay, like this. If you don't want this grid, okay, so before like we have a grid here, we can see there are two panels. Okay, there is a division between these two panels. So if I want to delete this grid line, all you need to just select the grid line, select add and remove, click on the grid. Okay, so now you can see the grid is gone and my two panels are now clubbed into a single one. So this is how you can add and remove any grid as per your preference. Okay, so, and even like if you want to change the offset for the wall that you have placed, you can have the location line offset. So let's go and take a sectional view again. Right click, go to view. So here is the wall that we have replaced with the panel. Okay. So here we can set the location line as well. If you want the location line changed, you can change it. You can even give the offset for the location line. Okay. So in this way, you can change the location line of the wall, location line of the offset, not only wall but also the panels. Okay, if you go to inside panel, there like as the family is system panel and the type is glazed, here we have the offset. So currently the offset is 37 mm. So if you want to change it to 100 mm and hit apply, then whole of the system panel family and the type is glazed, so that would be shifted or offsetted by 100 mm. Okay, instead of 37 mm. You can even specify the thickness of these panels, that is the glazed panels. Like if for now it's 25 mm, if you want to 50 mm glass, you can do it. Okay, you can even change the material as well. So in this way, you can play with the curtain wall panels. Okay, that is the glazed panels. So you can check the, or you can change the location line. You can give a specified offset as per your requirement. So in this way, you can play with the curtain panel too. So moving ahead, as you have seen, we can change the panels into walls and walls into panels. So if you want a panel back here, all you need to select the wall, pressing the tab, and if you want to create means replace it with a panel, you can select it in this way. Now it's a solid. You up the panel up is a glazed one. So now this is solid. If you want to change it to glazed one, all you need to select the type here. Okay, so the wall is now turned into default means default geometry as it was previously before changing it to a brick wall at the bottom. So let's control Z it. So now we have seen how to replace the types of the panels, how to change the location line, how to check the offset for it. Okay, so now let's move ahead creating the mullions. Okay, so every grid can host a mullion. Okay, so even the external parts of the curtain wall, the mullion can be hosted. So in order to place a mullion, all you need to select the mullion tool that is available here. You can place the mullion by going into a sectional view, or else you can place it in the 3D view as well. Okay, so let's go to sectional view. Let's hide it for now. And even you can, if you want to move the curtain grids, you can use the keyboard keys also, arrow keys to move. Okay, you can move the curtain grids using the arrow keys as well. Okay, you can even align them. If you want to align these two curtain grids, you can align them. Okay, so now let's move ahead, placing the mullions. So under the architectural tab, you have mullions, and there are few types of mullions. Okay, there are different mullion families. That is a circular mullion, L corner mullion, quad corner mullion, rectangular mullion, trapezoidal, and V corner mullion. And there are few types as well. Okay, so let's go ahead by just basically using the rectangular mullion for now. And whenever we are dealing with a corner, we'll have an example of corner as well. So we'll go ahead using the corner mullion. Okay, so here, as you have seen while placing the grid lines, we have a whole segment like the all segment and a single segment. So similarly, while placing the mullions, we have the same options, but only a slight different names are applied. So grid line means the whole grid is eligible for mullions to be placed, or if you want the mullions at a single grid only, so you can go ahead using the single grid. And if you want the mullions to be placed at all the grids at once, so you can go for all grids. Okay, so whenever you select all grids and hover to your curtain wall, please notice the change. The grids, all the grids that are available in my curtain panels are now highlighted. Okay, so we don't want this. Let's go with grid line. So if you want a grid line to be placed here, so mullion, we can place a mullion here. If you want, because as there is a brick wall here, we don't need a mullion here actually. So we'll place a brick wall mullion over here. So we can use the single segment. Okay. See, if I choose a grid line, my total grid line is moving from top to the bottom. So entire grid line would be assigned a mullion. So as we are dealing with a wall here, so there won't be any mullion necessary. So in order to add or remove mullion, all you need to do is just press tab and select that mullion and delete. So in this way, my mullion is gone. So once again, go to mullion. If you want to add a mullion here, let's just keep on clicking. Okay. So in this way, mullion can be added. So before previously we have created certain grids. So those grids, because of those grids, we are able to select multiple lines. Like whenever you are using a single placement option, so we are now able to access multiple grid lines. Okay. So here we can have mullions placed in this fashion. So whenever you go to 3D, the mullions would look something like this. Okay. Mullions will be looking in this fashion. So if you want to modify the types of the mullions that are available, you can go for that as well. So in order to change the or modify the types that are assigned, or the type parameters or the parameters assigned to any mullion, you can go. For now, it's 50 by 150 mm. So the thickness would be 50 mm and the width of the mullion is 150 mm. So whenever you go to edit type, then we have certain parameters here like angle, offset, the profile that is to be used. Okay, you can change the profile, you can change the position of the mullions. Okay, the thickness of the mullions and the material, the dimensions as well. As the type name suggests, it's 50 mm. So we can assign the thickness equally, unequally, or maybe we can assign 0 here and we can assign 50 here. We can distribute the uh, dimensions as well. Okay, width, in terms of width. Okay, so now let's keep it 50 and let's keep 50 on one side and 0 on other side and hit apply. Notice the change. Okay, so if you just want to go back, let's hit okay. So in this way you can like play with the dimensions of the mullion family. If you want to change the thickness, like instead of 150 you need 200 mm, hit apply. Okay, notice the change that is forming. Okay, so the thickness has been increased to 200 mm. So likewise, you can play with all the stuff that are available in the type parameters. So let's make it default. So in this way, you can use the mullion tool in the Revit. Okay. So now let's take an example of creating a mullion actually in our project that we are creating. Okay. So let's delete this column. There is no need for this column. So we can create a curtain wall on the first floor here. Okay. So in order to do that, for now, let's select and hide these walls, sorry, trees. Let's join geometry them, or maybe attach top. Okay. So now we can place a curtain wall along the edge of this floor. Okay. So we will go to the first floor plan view and let's press WA. So let's go with empty. And I want the height of this curtain wall to be like 1.5 meters. Okay. So I'll just go with 1.5 meters height. And for now, let's keep the walls. Okay. So height is 1.5 meters and just add the curtain walls. Okay. So let's check in 3D how the curtain system looks like. So my curtain system looks something like this. So if you want to create the grids, you can create them as we have seen previously. Now we need to create the uh, corner mullion. So let's go to mullion and here we can use the corner L mullion and let's place it. Okay. So you can see the corner mullions are now, like a single corner mullion is now placed. So if you want the mullions at any of the ends of the curtain wall, you can assign them as well. Okay, so go to mullion again. Let's go for a circular mullion at the ends and at the top. Okay, so just you need to select the curtain grid line and the mullion would be added. So if you want like a basic curtain, like a mullion at the bottom as well, you can assign that also. So just go to mullion again. Now we can't assign a round shape at the bottom. So let's go with a square one. Okay, just for a trial purpose. So you can see we can assign the mullions to our curtain wall that we have modeled. So in this way, you can assign and you can create a design also if you want. So let's go to the floor plan view and take a section here. Go to view. So this is my curtain wall. So if you want the like if now you will see the layout part that we have discussed or seen previously. Okay. So go to edit type and here for now the layout, that is vertical grid layout and horizontal grid layout, is set to none. Okay. So let's check it. What does this layout means? So if you want the grids to be placed at a fixed distance, you can go for selecting the fixed distance and the spacings to be specified. You can give the spacing here. So let's keep it default and hit apply. Okay. So you can see the vertical grids are now formed at a fixed distance of 1500 mm. So you can check this, or else if you want to have the grids in a specified numbers only, so you can apply or you can create that kind of grid as well if you want maximum spacing. Okay, if you need to just select the criteria which describes your scenario or your case perfectly, or which fits in your case perfectly. Okay, if you want a fixed distance applicable, so if you go, you can go with the fixed distance criteria, maximum spacing, minimum spacing, etc. So let's uh, keep it as a fixed distance for now and hit apply, hit OK. So the vertical grids are now formed in this fashion. So if you want similar stuff for horizontal grids, okay, so you can go for the horizontal layout. Now here the layout is none. If you want the like similar criteria as above, you can go for fixed distance and horizontal grids are in this way. Okay, so as our height is limited, like this spacing won't be justifiable. So let's keep it as 300 mm and hit apply, hit OK. So the horizontal grids are now also placed. You can even check the same in 3D view as well. You can see. And as we have edited the type parameters, the similar changes would be applicable to all the uh, all the curtain walls that we are using, all the similar types of curtain walls that we are using. So here we have used both curtain walls as empty. The type is empty. So all the changes are also applicable on this curtain wall as well. Okay. So in this way, we can change the, or we can add the layout using the properties. Okay, type parameter properties. Okay, and if you want to assign angle, okay, like for now the grid lines are perfectly perpendicular. So if you want them to be present at a certain angle, you can even give them. Okay, like let's say I want an angle of 30 degrees, hit OK. See, as we have placed the mullion previously, by changing the angle, there was a change in orientation of the panels as well. Okay, so there, that's why those certain elements were deleted. So before placing any mullions, you need to just check the angle. Means you need to just confirm all the angles, like make all the necessary changes, and then only you need to place your mullions, or else your mullions would be deleted. Okay, so as we can see, we have applied a 30 degrees angle for our vertical grid. Similarly, you can give any angle to your horizontal grids as well. Okay, see. Okay, so if you want your grids to be present at a different angles, you can even have them. So in this way, you can have your grids placed at various angle, and even you can assign mullions to them as well. Okay, see, square mullion. Let's go to 3D view. Okay, see, you can assign your mullions to these angled grid lines also. So in this way, you can play with the curtain wall tool and create the facade as per your requirement. Okay, so that's it for now. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.